Hey guys, as you know, this channel was devised to start the absolute beginner from day one of guitar on his journey of guitar and take it as far as you can go. We've got over 500 lessons on here, which would be years and years and years of guitar instruction going off in various different directions. One of our first tracks was going through all the Hal Leonard series, learning how to read notes, and all of the items that Hal Leonard would add to make a hobby guitarist into a semi-pro. Then we also did the Mel Bay book. Mel Bay's book is introduced as a beginner book as well, but it skips over so many steps and presumes an awful lot of background material, equivalent to one or two of the Hal Leonards. Now at this point, we're going into Mel Bay's Guitar Method 2. In terms of technique, it's not really that far advanced over his first book, but it's going into new theoretical ground and scales, taking you up into higher positions on the neck, introducing new keys like F and D, and working especially at the beginning on alternate picking. I'm not going to cover every single thing in the book. The first page or two gives you a review of basic note reading in the key of C, looking at the basic rhythm values of quarter notes versus half notes, and dotted quarter notes and stuff like that, going up the scales in a few different patterns. I am going to double back and catch a few of the songs there, but I want to jump right now to page 6 and run through a song called Hope, which stands a bit as a solo. On that same page, before you play this, they have an alternate picking exercise though, and just to give you an idea of what's happening there, we're running up and down the C scale. And as he's introduced the page as an alternate picking exercise, that's how he wants us to do it. You can read it yourself if you have the book, it's not that hard, but just to give you an idea, when you go up the scale one octave, you would have gone with your pick, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Then he comes down an octave from the D. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. As he lands on the D, he sequences up from the E. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Gets to the open E and comes down from F. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Then up from the G. And so on. It's just an up and down picking exercise. We've never spoken a lot about it, so I thought I'd just bring it up here and mention that that's probably what he wants in this song, Hope. We're looking here at the key of G, key signature of G with F sharps, but we're in the relative minor, E minor. So we'll have E minors, A minors, and the B7 especially. Of course, in the key of E minor being related to G, you'll also get Gs, Ds, or D7s, potentially Cs, and back to E minor. The song stands as it is, as a fairly nice solo. It's got his signature chords in it. This is what puts it above something like Hal Leonard. The Mel Bay books were trying to train people to be really good sight readers and be able to enter into a studio or orchestra kind of situation. All of these little chords are representations of the chords you already know. We're just hitting different parts of them. I'll describe that as we go. Even though it looks like a solo piece, if you get their book, you can go on their website and listen to the songs, and there is accompaniment. There's a string patch and a second guitar behind it. So at some point I'll be adding a bit of my own accompaniment, as I like to do, just adding extra bass notes. But at first, let's just devise this the way they've written it. So first we're running up the scale in E minor. E, F is sharp, so 4th fret. E, F sharp, G, A, B, and then you see the E, G, and B are strummed. Strings 4, 3, and 2 of an E minor chord. You may have grabbed an entire E minor chord there, or just the notes they've asked for. Then we have an A minor bar. I will probably finger an A minor chord, but you don't do that. You just play the notes. Down, up, on C, B, C, E. Then you strum that E minor again. This time it's a half note. It's held for 2 beats. Notice this E minor is part of the melody. One trick in reading fingerstyle and classical is to play the melody without the chords. So you could practice that as well here. Without doing chords, just hit the top note of it. So there I hit the top note of those two chords, which was the B note. You can do that to practice and hear the song, or just go ahead with chords. A, E, and A. That's the low part of an A minor chord. Here it is without the chord. So A, G, B, G, or strum that A minor. And then we have F sharp, open B, and A. That's the top notes of a B7 chord. At some point you may be actually holding the real B7. Here you might want to just play the one note to hear the melody first. In fact, let's do that. Let's hear the line with just the high notes and then the line again with chords. Notice the last chord is going to be 3 open strings, G, B, and E. So there's your line 1. Second line, lots of repetition from the first line. I was going to use a repeat sign, except they've smuggled in one little strum on the A minor here, letting in that A note underneath the C. We could play again just melody notes, but since we've been doing that already on the first line, let's go ahead and play this 2 bars as written. E minor, A minor, E minor. This is an arpeggio up an A minor chord, and then up the E minor chord. So A, C, E, C, open G, B, and open E. F sharp, 2nd fret on the B7. Strum the E minor. So here is 2 lines now. The next line, our melody is moved lower in almost a Carter picking manner. We've got a rest for the top part, the chording, above the note. So this down stem is melody, the up stems are chords. So melodically we could skip the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Or as written, the chord is played on beats 2 and 3. Here's that lick again. E, strum, strum, E, C, B, G, and low E. This low E, of course, is an E minor chord, and we'll strum the top. To end that, that's time filler, as we do another little bite of melody. Low E. This B is part of a G chord. So the open strings D, G, and B are strummed as a G chord. So that line, E bass note, 2 strums, 8th notes. We're on a G chord with G notes, E minor again. This looks like too many notes. If you're counting, you've got 8th notes, 1 and 2 and, then you have a half note, 3, 4, and then a strum on beat 4. The half note is representative of what's going on the bottom. The bottom, the melodic part, has a little half rest, this hat, so 2 beats rest, and the half note is written as the remaining 2 beats. They've given it an up stem rather than putting a rest in there. They probably should have put the rest in there, so you wouldn't confuse the half note with the upper part of the song. Here are our 3 lines again. 1 and 2, 3, 4. B7. All we see here are the D sharp on the 4th string and the A on the 3rd, but they are found in your standard B7 fingering. E and G, part of an E minor chord. E and A, part of an A minor chord. So B7, E minor, A minor, the open notes, the B and G of a G chord, the bass of a G chord, A minor again. Recognize the B7 here from our first lines. So your 2, O2, A, F sharp, and B to E minor. Next line is almost identical. I almost used a repeat sign here rather than writing it again, but I had left a lot of room, so filled it in. So here's B7, E minor, A minor, G, A minor, the only big difference is they want you to retard the B7, slow down toward the E minor, and instead of playing the top 3 strings of the E minor, you do the entire chord. So that's it. Let's play it slowly through, pick style. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Now I'll play it fingerstyle and just add a little bit of extra bass note behind it. As I said, on the recording you'll hear a guitar arpeggiating behind this, as well as a string pad and a count in, of course, to keep you in time. If you can't stand my timing and you want to get something a little bit better, use your metronome. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Alright guys, enjoy your start into the Mel Bay Book 2 adventure. Talk to you later. Bye for now.